Hello everyone, this is Vikas Gupta, and in this video lecture we will discuss about voltage series feedback pair. In unit number 3, that is feedback amplifier, we have studied two types of feedback, that is negative feedback and positive feedback. And we have also studied different kinds of feedback topologies. So voltage series is one of the feedback topology that we generally use in amplifiers. So this topic was left wherein multi-stage amplifiers are considered and the effect of negative feedback on the parameters of these multi-stage amplifier is studied. So here let us understand what is the effect of voltage series feedback on the various parameters of the amplifier. So I have prepared a very small notes for this topic that I am going to upload on Google Classroom. So while watching this lecture, I request you to keep those notes with you so that they will help you understand this topic easily. So let us consider this figure which is showing us the voltage series feedback pair wherein two amplifiers are connected in series. You can see this is amplifier 1 and this is amplifier 2, and these amplifiers have voltage gain AV1 and AV2 respectively. The output of the second stage, that is from here, this is the second stage of the amplifier, and the output of this second stage is fed back through this R1 and R2 voltage divider towards the input of this first amplifier. Okay, the output of second amplifier is fed back through this voltage divider network R1 and R2 towards the input of the first amplifier, which is having gain AV1. And therefore you can see that here we have the input voltage whose polarity is plus, here it is minus, that is Vi, and here we are getting the feedback voltage across this resistor R1. Okay, so that is, here the polarity is plus, here polarity is minus, so that is Vf, that is feedback voltage. And you can see this feedback voltage opposes this external source Vs. If you write the KVL for this loop, you will get minus to plus, that is Vs, plus to minus, that is minus Vi, plus to minus, that is again minus Vf, equal to 0. It means we can write Vi is equals to Vs minus Vf, right? So here the feedback voltage opposes this external source voltage and therefore the feedback is negative. One more thing that we can note from this figure, and that is we are taking the output from this node. You can see we are taking the output from the same node, and from the same node we are taking the feedback signal, and therefore it is a case of voltage sampling. Similarly, at the input side, this voltage is, the feedback voltage is in series with the input voltage Vi, right? And therefore this is the case of voltage mixing, right? Or you can say series mixing, and therefore this feedback topology used here in this figure is voltage series feedback. Now, since it is a voltage series negative feedback, the input resistance of this amplifier, the complete amplifier, will increase. Similarly, the output resistance of the amplifier will decrease, and the voltage gain of this complete amplifier the voltage gain of this complete amplifier will be stabilized. Because of what? Because of the negative feedback. Because we have studied in our theory class that the negative feedback increases the input resistance by the factor of 1 plus AV beta whenever we apply a voltage series negative feedback. Similarly, it decreases the output resistance RO by the factor 1 plus AV beta, and it stabilizes the gain, the open loop gain of the amplifier, by dividing it with the factor 1 plus AV beta. Okay. So now let us consider an approximate analysis of this figure. For that purpose, you will have to refer to the notes that I have uploaded on the Google Classroom. So in the approximate analysis, let us consider, or let us assume that the open loop voltage gain is very large and that the current which is flowing through the R1 resistance is very less than the current I, right? Once again we can see the figure. Now here in this figure you can see that the current which is flowing through the resistance R2 is capital I. The current which is flowing from this path is I prime, and the current which is flowing through R1, that is I prime plus I, right? And now we are assuming that the open loop gain of this amplifier, the open loop gain is very high, and this current this current I prime is far less than the current capital I. So in such condition, under such conditions, what will happen? We will have, let us consider that we have a very finite output voltage V0. We have assumed that the voltage gain is very high, right? So when voltage gain is very high, even if the input voltage is approximately 0, we will get some finite voltage V0, right? And therefore V0, when Vi is approximately equal to 0, there we will have a finite output voltage V0, right? Now since Vi is equals to 0, Vs will be equal to what? Vf. Remember I told you the KVL, the KVL says Vs is equals to Vi plus Vf, and since Vi is approximately equal to 0, and therefore Vs will be equal to Vf. And what is Vf? Vf is nothing but the voltage across the resistance R1. You can see in this figure the Vf is nothing but the voltage across this resistance R1, and that voltage will be what? R1 multiplied with the current flowing through this resistor R. And what is that current? That current is I prime plus I, but we have assumed that I prime is nearly equal to 0, or I prime is far less than I, and therefore Vf, that is feedback voltage, will be approximately equal to R1 times capital I. So Vs is equals to Vf, that is approximately equal to I times R1. Now what is that current I? That current I, that can also be written as V0 divided by R1 plus R2, right? Or you can say this voltage Vf, that is the feedback voltage. And what is that feedback voltage? That is the fraction of the output voltage. So fraction of output voltage because of the voltage divider network will be what? V0 into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so this voltage divider network is dividing the output voltage, and therefore Vf is equals to V0 into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. That's what I have written here, R1 to V0 divided by R1 plus R2. So what is the relation that we have got from this equation? Vs is approximately equal to R1 into V0 divided by R1 plus R2. So what we will get from this equation 1? We can find out the overall gain with feedback is AVF is equivalent to V naught divided by Vs. See, you have to just rearrange this equation. V naught divided by Vs. Okay, so on the right hand side, what we will get? R1 plus R2 divided by R1. Just rearrange this equation. So AVF is approximately equivalent to V naught by Vs, that is approximately equal to R2 plus R1 divided by R1, and that will be equal to what? 1 by beta. That is what is 1 by beta, because what we are getting here, okay, the feedback voltage is beta times V naught. So beta is what? R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So what will be R2 plus R1 divided by R1? That will be equal to 1 by beta. So this is my equation number 2. So equation number 2 indicates that, this equation indicates that the voltage gain is independent of all parameters except R1 and R2. You can see this is the voltage gain with feedback, and that is approximately equal to R2 plus R1 divided by R1. So it is not dependent on other parameters such as the parameters of the transistors. It is only dependent on this voltage divider resistors R2 and R1, right? And hence, if these resistances are stable, if we consider that these resistances are stable, then the amplification of the circuit is stabilized, right? So this way the negative feedback stabilizes the voltage gain of the amplifier, that we have understood from this example. Now let us consider an explicit electronic circuit, right, which uses this voltage series feedback pair. So for that purpose we will have to consider this figure. Well, this is called as second collector to first emitter feedback pair. Second collector to first emitter feedback pair. So if you look at this figure carefully, you will understand the meaning of this name. So once again, see here, there are two common emitter amplifier. The first one is here. So transistor Q1 is connected in common emitter configuration. Similarly, transistor Q2 is connected in the common emitter configuration, right? So this is my first amplifier and this is my second amplifier. And you can see the collector terminal of the second transistor here. The collector terminal of the second transistor is connected to the emitter terminal of the first transistor. The collector terminal of the second transistor is connected to the first emitter terminal of the first transistor, and that is why the name is given second collector to first emitter feedback pair. We are taking the feedback from the second collector terminal and we are sending it back to the emitter of first transistor. Now can you identify the type of feedback topology used here? Yes, you are thinking right. The output is taken from this node and we are taking the feedback from the same node, so it is a voltage sampling, right? And since at the input the voltage, the feedback voltage across this resistance R1 is getting added with this input voltage Vi, and therefore this is a case of series mixing or voltage mixing, and therefore the name of the feedback topology is voltage series feedback. So basically here we are using two amplifiers which are connected in series, and the output of the second amplifier is fed back towards the input of the first amplifier. Now here in this circuit, the capacitors C1, C2, C5 and C6. You can see C1, C2, C5 and C6. They are DC blocking capacitors, right? So their function is just to block the DC current and DC voltages. C1, C2, C5 and C6. Their function is to block the DC current and voltages, and therefore their name is DC blocking capacitors. And the capacitors C3 and C4, Yes, you are thinking right. We have done this experiment. So the C3 and C5 are used to bypass the AC current or the AC voltages, right? So they are also called as emitter bypass capacitor. C3 and C4, they are bypass capacitor for the emitter bias resistor, right? Now all these capacitances represent negligible reactance at the frequencies of operation of this circuit, right? We will operate this circuit at certain frequency. So at that particular frequency, the reactances of these capacitors will be negligible. So we can neglect these capacitors, right? Now for this amplifier, the voltage gain AVF, means the gain with feedback, is given approximately by the equation that we have just now derived, that is AVF equal to R1 plus R2 divided by R1, that is approximately equal to 1 by beta. See into your notes, right? So in equation 2 we have derived that formula, that is AVF equal to R1 plus R2 divided by R1, that is equals to 1 by beta. Now a more accurate determination of AVF as well as a calculation of input and output resistance can be understood in the example that we are going to solve just now. Okay, so if you have any doubt here in this circuit, you just watch this lecture once again, okay, or if you go back and once again see the same thing. Okay, it is very simple thing, not difficult one. Now let us solve that numerical. So this numerical is given on, it is basically a solved numerical, but you have to understand how they have done all these calculations. So this numerical is given on page number 579 of Millman's Electronic Devices and Circuits, 3rd edition. I am showing you the references here, Millman's Electronic Devices and Circuits, 3rd edition. So on page number 578 to 580 you will find all these things that we have discussed so far. So the numerical is this. This is very important for your final exam. Okay, so calculate voltage gain with feedback, output resistance with feedback, and input resistance with feedback for the amplifier shown in figure below. So just now we have seen that circuit of the amplifier. For the same figure we have to calculate the gain with feedback, output resistance with feedback, and input resistance with feedback. Now few assumptions are given in the question. Assume RS is equals to 0, that is the source resistance. HFE, that is the forward current gain of the amplifier, is equals to 50, and the HIE, that is the input resistance of the transistor, that is 1.1 kilo ohm. HRE and HOE are equal to 0, and assume that the transistors are identical. It means HFE of both the transistor is 50 and HIE of both the transistor is equals to 1.1 kilo ohm. So once again the same figure is here. I have drawn here once the same figure. Okay, so first of all let us find out what will be the load resistance of stage 1, then the load resistance of stage 2. Now do you remember we have discussed about the loading effect in our unit number 2? So what happens in case of loading effect? This complete stage will act as the load for the first stage, right? So what will be the load resistance of the first stage here? So basically if you want to understand it in more proper way, you will have to draw the AC equivalent model. So in AC equivalent model what will happen? All the capacitors will be short circuited and DC source will be grounded. So I haven't drawn that AC equivalent model here, but for your reference purposes, for your understanding, you can draw in your copy. So if I short circuit all the resistors, and if I ground this DC source, what will happen? This terminal is grounded. Okay, this terminal is shorted. It means what happens? These two resistances will come in parallel. Similarly, see here, this point and this point is same, where one terminal of this resistor, one terminal of this resistor, and one terminal of this resistor is connected, and the second terminal of all these resistors, this one, and this one, is connected to ground because of the AC equivalent model. So what is happening? This resistor is in parallel with this resistor, and that is parallel with this resistor. And one more thing will come into picture, and that is the input resistance of this transistors, that is HIE, right? This resistance will not come into picture because this is shorted because of the AC equivalent model. We will short this capacitor, so there will be no resistance here, right? So only HIE of this transistor will come into picture, so that is also in parallel with this. Okay, finally the load resistance RL of transistor Q1 will be given by the 10K. This one is 10K parallel with 47K parallel with 33K parallel with HIE of the second transistor. So I haven't written K outside. Okay, so 10 parallel with 47 parallel with 33 parallel with 1.1. So if you solve this, you will get 942 ohm, or you can write 0.942 kilo ohm, anything that you like. Now let us find out what will be the load resistance of the second stage, that is Q2. So load resistance of the second stage will be what? This resistance, that is the collector, is connected to the collector. So again, because of the AC model, what will happen? This point, that is the collector of the transistor Q2, wherein this the first terminal of this resistor is connected, and second terminal is connected to the VCC, which will be grounded in the AC equivalent model, right? Similarly, this will be shorted, so this point and this point is same, so this resistance will be connected to the ground through R1. One thing that we have to note here now is that the voltage, output voltage V0 is far greater than VF, because VF is just the fraction of the output voltage V0. So what we will consider here, we'll consider that here the voltage VF is very small, and we consider that this is just like that of a short circuit. It means what will happen? This resistance will come in parallel with the resistance R2. Okay, and therefore what will be the load resistance of the transistor Q2 or the stage 2? That will be 4.7K in parallel with 4.7K. Okay, so RL2 dash is equals to 4.7 parallel with 4.7, that is equals to 2.35K, right? So we have obtained the load resistance of stage 1 and stage 2. Now we'll find out the voltage gain of the first stage. So the voltage gain AV1 of the first stage, that is Q1, it is independent of the emitter impedance and is given by this formula. So why I am saying it is independent of emitter impedance? Because we have connected emitter bypass capacitor across the emitter resistance, and therefore the resistance will not affect the voltage gain of the amplifier here, right? So AV1 is equals to what? The current gain multiplied with the load resistance RL divided by the input resistance Ri. That is also equal to minus times HFE into RL divided by HIE, where RL is the load resistance, HIE is the input resistance of the transistor, and HFE is the current gain. Now what is minus sign indicating here? The minus sign is indicating the 180-degree phase shift between the input and the output. We know that the common emitter amplifier provides 180-degree phase shift in the output voltage with respect to the input voltage, right? So this minus sign will appear here. So just now we have calculated the value of RL for the stage 1. So that is indicated by RL1 prime. and here this term will remain as it is, HFE divided by HIE. So we know the value of HFE, we know HIE, and we know RL1 prime. So just put those values here and you will get the gain AV1, but this gain is the open loop gain, remember. Okay, this gain is open loop gain, we haven't considered feedback yet. So AV1 is equals to minus 42.8. Similarly, we will calculate the voltage gain for the second stage, which is denoted by AV2. So AV2 is equals to V0 divided by V1. Now what is V1? V1 is the voltage at the collector terminal of the transistor Q1. See this figure. For the second stage, output voltage is V0 and the input voltage is V1. Therefore, what will be the gain of second stage? It will be V0 divided by V1. Okay. So V0 by V1, and again it is equals to minus times HFE, that is forward current gain, into the load resistance RL2 prime divided by HIE. So put the values of all these three parameters, you will get minus 107. So the gain of second stage is minus 107. So since two amplifiers are connected in series, and therefore what will be the complete gain? The complete gain will be output voltage divided by the input voltage Vi, and that will be equal to the gain of first amplifier multiplied with the gain of second amplifier. So that will be equal to 42.8 into 107. You will say I have not written minus sign because minus into minus will become plus, right? So the gain of first amplifier is 42.8 and the second one it is 107. So finally we will get AV, that is the open loop gain of the complete multi-stage amplifier, is equals to 4580. It is 4580. This is the open loop gain of two-stage amplifier. Now if we assume the condition that we have already discussed, if this current I prime is far less than I, let me show you the diagram once again. If we assume that this current I prime, the current which is flowing from this path I prime, is far less than this current I, in that case what will be the voltage drop across R1? That will be R1 into I, and that will be same as the feedback voltage Vf. Okay, so if we assume this condition, that is I prime is far less than I, then the feedback factor beta is given by beta is equals to R1 upon R1 plus R2. R1 upon R1 plus R2, that will be equal to 100 divided by 4800 is equals to 1 by 48. So we got the value of beta equal to 1 by 48, and therefore what will be the factor AV beta? AV we just calculated, and this is the value of beta, and therefore AV into beta is 95.4. So what will be the gain with feedback then? So this is the general formula for gain with feedback. So the gain with feedback is given by AVF equal to AV, that is open loop gain, divided by 1 plus AV beta. So just put those values here. So we will get the gain with feedback AVF is equals to 47.5. So you can see the open loop gain was very large. The open loop gain was around 4580, and after applying the negative feedback the gain has reduced to 47.5. That is the effect of negative feedback here. So we know that negative feedback reduces the gain, that is proved here. Now let us find out the output resistance with feedback and without feedback. Similarly the input resistance with feedback and without feedback. So the output resistance without feedback is simply let us once again see the figure. The output resistance without feedback is this resistors in parallel with this resistance for 4.7k in parallel with 4.7k. So it will be 2.35 kilo ohm, and we know that the output resistance with feedback is given by RO upon 1 plus AV beta. So you just put those values here, and therefore ROF is equals to 24.4 ohm. So the negative feedback has reduced the output resistance, right? Similarly, the input resistance without feedback is what? The input resistance here. So the input resistance here of this complete stage is nothing but the HIE of this transistor Q1. So HIE of this transistor Q1 will be the input resistance, that is 1.1k, and the input resistance with feedback is given by 1 plus AV beta into Ri. So put the values, you will find that the input resistance with feedback is 106 kilo ohm. Okay, without feedback it was 1.1 kilo ohm, and with feedback it is 106 kilo ohm. So in this example we have seen that when we apply the negative feedback, the input resistance increases, output resistance decreases, and the gain decreases because of the application of negative feedback. In the book several other things are also given. Means if suppose that we have already discussed while deriving the input resistor, the formulas RIF and ROF, okay, in the block diagram of voltage series feedback. But in the exam, this up to this point it is sufficient. Okay, if you want to see few more points that how to calculate RIF prime and ROF prime, right, so that you can see in the book on page number 580. So I will stop here the discussion of voltage series feedback pair, and if you have any doubt you can ask me anytime on the Google Classroom by writing your comments on the Google Classroom or in the college, right? And you can refer the book Millman's Electronic Devices and Circuits 3rd edition, page number 578 to 580. This topic is very clearly given in this book on these pages. So thank you for watching this video lecture, and all the best for your final exam. अरे